I am so excited for today's episode. Hello, everyone. Today I'm recording from my bed. Cozy vibes, sleepover vibes. I just really wanted to do a less structured episode and kind of just get my feelings out. So I have recently been struggling a lot with body confidence, and I think that this is something that I just need to speak on, because I feel like it's just something I need to speak on because so many girls go through this and people in general go through this, but specifically it is just so taxing when you're a girl, because we've kind of been fed one body type our entire lives to look up to as the ideal body type, and it's BS. And I kind of just wanted to talk about it today because it's hard to master being confident in general, but body confidence is something that is its own beast and its own monster, and I get that. And I just, since I'm struggling with it, I figured someone out there might be too, and maybe this episode would help. So recently I've been on Pinterest a lot, and I was going on vacation, so I thought it would be fun to make a little mood board and just look at fun little vision boarding things for my vacation. So I go on Pinterest and I'm scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, and what I noticed was that there was a very similar type of girl in every single photo. And every single photo was the same exact body with, literally a flat stomach and just the body type that we've been fed for years and years and years. And I haven't done that in a while, where I've been on Pinterest and looked up anything like that, but it kind of just affected me more than I thought it would, because I'm sitting there and I'm only looking at one body type, and it just made me feel gross. It just kind of made me feel gross that is the only thing that we are fed since we were younger. And it kind of just reminded me of how I used to think bodies are meant to look, because growing up, that was the only body type that we were fed, was flat stomachs, and there was all these diet magazines. And I remember just seeing diet magazines out in any women's office, doctor's office, literally anywhere, nail salons. It was always diet magazines, how to get a flat stomach, blah, 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 all these life hacks. And it just kind of brought me back to that. And I've done so much work and growth, and obviously our generation is talking more about how different body types should be normalized and should be accepted. But I don't know, it just affected me. So I really wanted to make this video and talk to you guys about it in case somebody else is struggling with it out there. And I think that's the first thing we have to realize, is that we have been fed for years this narrative that girls have to look the exact same. Girls have to have curves, but not too many curves. And you can't really please society ever. If people think you don't have enough curves, you're considered flat. If people think you have too many curves, then you're not skinny enough. It is just the most disgusting dialogue that I've ever heard in my life. And it feels impossible to perfect anything about yourself, because no matter what you do, it's either too much or too little. Something that has really helped me is kind of thinking about where my insecurities even came from in the first place, because we were not born with these insecurities. They were literally taught to us. And once you realize that your insecurities are taught to you and you were not born with them, it helps you conquer them a lot easier, because you're kind of wait, where did I even learn all of this stuff? And it's because we've been told all our lives to look a certain way and that we have to act a certain way. And if you don't match this ideal girl that you've been told to be, then you're not perfect. And I think that is absolutely disgusting. And once I realized that beauty is subjective, it just helped me so much more. The first thing we need to debunk here is, where did your insecurities come from? Because you need to realize that your insecurities were taught to you and you were not born with them. And that literally changes everything. You were not born with insecurities. Insecurities are literally a product of the society around you telling you you're not good enough, which is BS. Companies need to make profits. They want to make girls feel insecure about things so that they can sell you products to make you feel better about yourself. And that's just not okay, but it's totally the reason why we feel insecure and why we feel we're not good enough all the time. And once you realize that, I feel it's so much easier to kind of be wait, that is not me talking. That's the society that I was born into talking. And I am beautiful. Like, you need to make the decision that you are beautiful, because beauty is subjective. No one can tell you that something isn't beautiful, because we all have a different idea of what beauty is. I also feel like whenever I get insecure, it's because I'm like nitpicking all these things about myself that I don't like, and I get into like this very negative and toxic mindset where I'm kind of like staring at photos of myself for too long, and I'm like, I don't like the way my thighs look in that photo. I don't like the way my stomach looks. I don't like the way my face looks. And to be honest, at the end of the day, I'm probably the only person noticing these things, which is insane. But if you think about it, everyone does this. They are so focused on themselves that they don't even have time to think about how you look for too long. Like, I promise you, we're all walking around this world thinking about these little things that we don't like about ourselves, when probably everyone around us is doing the same thing, and we're not noticing these flaws that we think so deeply about. Like, you are judging yourself more than anyone else ever could. And what you need to realize is that you are the person who judges yourself the hardest, and you could also be the person that loves yourself the hardest if you just flip the script a little bit. Like, growing up, I feel like I was so hard on myself for things that I would be insecure about. I'd be like, oh my gosh, I'm being too loud, or like, oh my gosh, my stomach isn't flat enough, or like something like, oh, my hair looks greasy, or whatever. Like, whatever it is, I would just be like picking out things I don't like, and that would make me come off as so much less confident, and like I was really just really insecure. And I started doing this thing where I would change my mindset around to be more like, what do I like about myself? Like, what you need to do is think about the things that you like about yourself instead of the things that you don't like. And it feels a little weird at first to like call yourself cute or like do things like that. But girl, just do it. Like, I know it feels a little bit uncomfortable at first, but instead of picking out all these like negative things, flaws that you don't like about yourself, start picking out things that you like about yourself / love about yourself. Like, I only focus on things that I really love about myself. Like, I'll be like, oh my gosh, I love my eyes. Like, they're just like, they look really good today. My mascara looks really good today. Like, I'll find little things about me that make me feel so much more confident and uplift me instead of being hard on myself, because you're not hurting anyone else when you're hard on yourself. You are only hurting you. You are this dialogue in your head telling yourself you're not good enough when no one else is. And I know that we learn these insecurities from other people. Like, literally one time in the 8th grade, someone told me that my fingers looked like ET, and I cannot get over it. And now I used to think that for years. I used to be like, oh my gosh, my hands are ugly, blah, 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 blah. But then I was like, who? Just one little snot dweeb from the 8th grade told me that my hands look like ET, and now I'm going to be insecure about that forever? No. And I know this happens to so many people where someone will mention something like one time, and you'll just like think about it for years and years and years. And I want you to realize that you're in control of how you feel about yourself. You are completely in control of giving yourself confidence and giving yourself love and giving yourself compliments on things that you like about yourself. Once you realize that you can be the source of love, like, you don't have to wait for someone to come along to see how beautiful you are and tell you that you're beautiful for you to feel it. You can give yourself that love. I think a big cause of people not being able to feel confident in their bodies is comparison, because comparison is literally the thief of joy. That is the most true saying ever. And we're surrounded on social media by these like perfect, in quotes, body types, and like it makes you just like compare yourself, and it's natural even if you don't want to, and you see someone on a screen who looks like maybe your goals or whatever, your workout goals, you just compare yourself to them and you can't even help it, and it can be really toxic for you. But like, something that I've done that has helped me so much not like compare myself to other people is kind of just like pay attention to who I follow on social media, because that impacts you so much. So now my feed is filled with all different types of girls, all different types of body types, people who kind of show the realistic side of social media and show that bodies fluctuate. And there are pages just dedicated to showing you that social media is fake and that people edit themselves. And there's posed versus unposed accounts where you can see what bodies are supposed to look like naturally when they're not like all mangled and fangled and looking perfect for Instagram. Like, that is what you need to be following. You need to like, I think that we all need to be like really careful about what kind of accounts we follow on social media because it affects how you feel about yourself so much. Once I started following accounts that are realistic and show that the bodies can look multiple different ways, everything is beautiful, there are so many different body types, it made me feel so much better about myself, and like my social media feed became so much less toxic for me to be on. And I think that's really important. So if your feed is kind of looking like all these Instagram models and blah, 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 like just pay attention to who you follow. Follow people that are real. Follow people that show the realistic side of things and don't just show you that everything is perfect. Follow people who are real. Follow people who show you that you don't have to look a certain way all the time and that bodies can change and that there are multiple different body types. And that really, really, really makes a difference. I promise you. Another thing that really helps me is thinking about non-physical things that I really love about myself. At the end of the day, your body is just that. It is just your body, and you are so much more than how your body looks or how you think your body looks. You are a beautiful human with a kind heart who is smart, who's funny, who has so many unique traits that are just you and so many quirks that are just you that make you a beautiful person. You shouldn't spend your time worrying about how you think your body looks when you are this entire soul and person who deserves to be loved. Like, think about non-physical things that you like about yourself because not everything that matters about you is physical. And I think that's a huge thing with confidence is that we're kind of taught growing up that we should tie how we feel about ourselves to how we look, and that's just not true. Like, your body is the least interesting thing about you. You are so much more than just how you think you look. And even like literally trust me on this, even take like a pen and a paper and write down all the non-physical things that you love about yourself. I promise you, if you base your confidence on your personality and the type of person that you are and how good of a person you are, you will be confident, because guess what? The world does not revolve around how you think your body looks. And I just want to point out that I'm also saying these things to myself. Like, oftentimes when I make a podcast episode, it's like also things that I need to hear and reminders that I need to hear. So this is just as much for me as it is for you, you guys. One thing I did the other day was I was going to go post an Instagram photo, and I stared at this picture for so long. Keep in mind, it's a bikini picture that I took in Hawaii. I was happy. I was having the time of my life. And there's this photo that I found from Hawaii, and I was like, oh, I really should post that. And then I went to just like color correct it a little bit. So I was staring at the photo and I started to like hate it. Like, I started to just pick these things out that I didn't like about myself. I was like, wait, my thighs might look too big. Wait, do I look weird? Is the pose I'm standing in just like awkward? Like, is my arm looking like a little T-Rex? Like, I went through so many things. I was like, does my face look dead? Like, I feel like I don't look like I have enough emotion in my face. When really, in reality, I should have just looked at this photo, been like, oh, that's a cute photo from Hawaii, post, and not overthink it and not second guess it at all. But what I did was sit there and just look at it and tear myself apart. And I haven't done this in a while. So I don't know if it was like the Pinterest scrolling that got me or something, but I was just not feeling it, not feeling confident, not liking this photo at all. And what I should have been thinking was, wow, this is a really cute memory that I want to live on my feed. And I was so happy in this moment, and look how cute I am, and just post it with no second thoughts. And it's hard to get to that point, but like that's the response I should have had to that photo. My response to that photo is something that people go through all the time. And that's kind of why I wanted to bring this up, because I used to do this a lot more often, was like look at these photos and tear myself down. And like, I haven't done this in a while because I have worked on myself and my confidence. But next time this happens to you, I just challenge you to not overthink it and freaking hit that post button. Because you know what? I'm going to tell you right now, you do look cute. You don't have to second guess everything you post. People are only going to look at it for like half a second and then move on with their lives. No one's going to sit there and overanalyze a photo the way that you do. And that's kind of a reminder that I needed to hear as well, because I don't know why I sat there second guessing this picture for so long. Like, you are beautiful, and photos are like such a precious thing, especially from like special moments. And if you're sitting there tearing yourself down, like, it's just pointless, because I want you to think about you in the future. You're going to look back at all those old photos of you and be like, I was so freaking beautiful. I don't know what I was on that I tore myself down like that. Like, I promise you, when you look back at these photos, you're not gonna be 60 years old being like, oh, look at the way my thigh looked when I was 22. Like, it's just not gonna happen. And I think we all need this reminder sometimes to just chill out, to just like stop overthinking things, because I promise that you in the future is not going to be overthinking how you looked now. Like, please just stop overthinking and just post the photo you want to post. Be confident that you are a beautiful person, because beauty is subjective and you can decide that you are beautiful. You can make that decision. You don't have to wait for someone to tell you. You don't have to wait for the society to pick you and like choose that you're beautiful, because you can choose it yourself. Like, for example, features literally come in and out as trends all the freaking time. Can I remind you that a lot of people who had freckles growing up were like made fun of for having freckles growing up, and now it's a freaking TikTok trend and everyone's drawing them on every day? Like, there are so many features about people that have like gone in and out of style, and it's just messed up. It is literally just messed up, and it affects people so deeply. Another thing that made me really confident in myself and my body is kind of realizing that my body does everything for me. Like, I am so lucky to have a functioning body that just like performs for me every day. Your body loves you, so you need to love it back. Your body does so much for you. Like, you just need to show love and appreciation to even have it in the first place. And once I switched my mindset to think like that, I was like, oh my gosh, how could I hate on my own body? Like, your body works to keep you alive. Your body functions for you, and it deserves love. It deserves to be accepted by you, and not just wait for someone else to come along and tell you that you're beautiful. Also, bodies are not meant to look the same every single day. Like, you know how some days you'll feel super confident in how you look, and then one day you'll just be like off and you'll be like, I don't look good. I don't. And honestly, that was probably a 3-day difference, like from when you thought you looked good to when you didn't. And honestly, your body probably looks so similar, but you're just sitting there overthinking it. Like, a lot of this stuff with insecurities and confidence is completely inside of our own heads. And once you kind of catch your thought process and realize that you just need to make little shifts to make yourself more positive, you will realize the biggest difference. I promise you. Like, bodies bloat, bodies change throughout the month, especially when it's like that time of the month, your body looks completely different. Like, it's not meant to look the same every day, and I think that's kind of beautiful. Like, I used to like hate when my stomach had any sort of like rolls on it or anything, and now I'm like, that is so cute. Like, my body is so cute no matter how it looks, no matter when it fluctuates, because your body will change on a monthly basis, on a daily basis, on a yearly basis, like around the year, because sometimes in the winter I gain weight, and then in the summer I'm more active, and I am so much more harder on myself in the winter because my body looks not at its peak. And like, I just think that that's so crazy, because it's not meant to look the same all the time. And once you kind of realize that, it's just a game changer. I think the main thing is that you need to be kind to yourself and kind to your body, because your body is literally working to keep you alive. And I know it's hard, and I know it's hard to like catch yourself when you're thinking negatively, but if you just make these little shifts to be more positive, I promise you will feel better about yourself over time, because it just becomes a habit to notice things that you love about yourself, and over time it really does make you more confident. I asked you guys if you have any questions on Instagram, and the main question that I'm getting is, how do I love my body all the time? And I think that the main part of that is kind of what I was talking about before, but just realize that you're not meant to look the same all the time, and that you are supposed to change. You are supposed to change. You're not always going to look the same. Your body's going to go through phases. You're going to go through phases where you like your body and you don't. And like, it's so natural, but I think you just need to make a habit of falling in love with yourself and who you are at any phase of your life. I also don't think it's completely natural to say that you're going to love your body all the time, or you're going to love yourself all the time, because self-love and confidence, they're not a constant thing. It's kind of like a battle that you have to work on consistently, and progress will happen, but it's something that you have to build. It's like a habit. You need, like, self-love is literally like a habit. You need to continually be nice to yourself and stop beating yourself up, and stop nitpicking these little things that you don't like about yourself, and instead focus on all these things that you do like about yourself. And over time, you just become so much more positive and confident. But that doesn't mean there's going to be no bad days. Like, you're still going to have days where you don't like how you look. You're still going to have days where you're hard on yourself. But over time, it just becomes so much more positive if you make a habit out of being kind to yourself and loving yourself. Okay, I think that was everything that I kind of wanted to say on this. I just feel like this was really therapeutic, and I needed to talk about this because I have been struggling with it lately, and I hope that someone out there, if you're struggling with this too, this helped. Let me know what we should talk about in the next little podcast epi. I really hope this helps someone out there. I kind of just got everything off my chest that I really, really wanted to, and I'm hoping that if someone out there is struggling with this, that this video helped you. And I'm here to tell you right now, as your big sister, that you are beautiful, you deserve love, and stop being hard on yourself, okay? I freaking love you guys, and I hope this helped. Let me know what we want to see next, and I will talk to you guys in the next one. Forehead kiss. Okay, goodbye.